and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. I'm here with all of our lovely people. Hello, lovely people.
Hello, lovely people.
That's you.
Oh,
yes.
Right. Hi.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. You can hear the spirit of Christmas.
I'm in the wrong place.
When we've recorded the episode the mercifully short episode you're about to hear, dear readers, we had a stab at sounding Christmassy, and I'll be honest with you, we failed. But now it really is actually Christmas, so we ought to try and do a bit better. Anyway, since it's Christmas...
I've got something to ask you. Why couldn't Mary and Joseph join their work conference call?
Because there was no Zoom at the inn?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
I wonder how many Christmas crackers that one's in.
That's far too expensive for a Christmas
Does it reach
cracker,
the standard? I don't know that it does. It's nearly the end of the year, and I asked our readers, in fact, we have no Paul, so Dan, if you will put on the special gloves and reach deep into the folds of Paul's extended bag.
It's a bit musky.
Just pass over what you find. That little packet there.
God.
We can have a think about this ourselves, but we've had some communication from our readers, chaps, about their favourite bits of the last year. Not many communications, as you might expect. They're basically 4 people or something, but hey.
Half the readership.
And I think the overriding impression one gets from reading their responses is that it hasn't been great since kind of January. As far as I can tell, most of the things are about hooves. They quite liked hooves, and they quite liked the champion's belt.
Well, the champion's belt was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then after that, there are very few specific call-outs of things that we've done, which makes me think, oh dear, okay. I enjoyed the champion's belt very much. I think it was definitely the best thing we've done. I quite enjoyed the bit afterwards and going back to the cairn, but I've found this last one a bit of a trudge.
Well, it's fighty, but that is a large part of D&D, and we've been blessed, I think, with this adventure path that it's not been massively fighty. I mean,
it's an odd one. Obviously, there's a difference between what works well as a story that runs week to week for these poor, long-suffering people to endure, and what we would normally play just sitting around, doing whatever we do, which would probably be very dungeony and very fighty, right? So, I mean, you're going to have a bit of both. Anyway, any of you got anything that you particularly, found, I don't know, interesting?
I found, some stuff in the kitchen.
Yeah. Anything relevant to our discussion?
If you're struggling to think of what to get someone for a Christmas gift, get them a fridge and watch their face light up when they open it. That's all I can say.
I think he writes Christmas cracker jokes. Maybe that's what Dan's always done.
Again, another one that doesn't meet the standard, I fear. I think he sends them in to the company that makes them. He gets another letter. Dear sir, thank you for your most recent submission. We regret that once again we are unable to include your joke in our latest product line.
We're going in another direction.
The champion's belt was really good.
Yes, I agree.
Back in the cairn, that dungeon was a bit pointless. There's some rooms that didn't work. It doesn't mean I
was a bit annoyed that we couldn't finish the dragon off, buggered off before we got to polish him off.
But that was Mike going, I don't want to have another big fight.
Well, it did get polished off. It's just got polished off while you were in there by...
this complex is okay. I'm enjoying this.
I like this, yeah. I mean, it may not be great radio, but I like it.
I'm not so much thinking about whether I'm enjoying it in itself. It's not the nature of it. It seems to be taking us quite a long time. Well, I don't know how many weeks we've been doing it for.
Well, this one must be. I mean, this is book 7, and we started it in episode 101, didn't we?
I think 100 and something, yeah. And we're about 100. And I think this episode will be 121. 100. Yeah, so we're going for about 20 episodes. I've enjoyed it.
Half a year.
Well, I mean,
half a year on this complex.
Well,
20 episodes. You're kidding.
I can't remember. I think
poor readers.
This will amaze you that I actually do some preparation. But I did listen back to a couple of the first Markish episodes, and there is a lot of references in that to how hot it was. So, yeah. I think we must have recorded that in August, basically.
Yeah.
In our mankinis. Right. Jim Stewart liked the champion's belt. He says anything with Testapod, Hilltop. He loved hooves. He liked his voice. He said, I'm sure you needed a glass of beer for your throat after each hooves encounter, which I did. Neck oil. We also converted some readers to neck oil.
Oh, really?
Chat about that. Mark liked, his favourite moment was not from the Champion's Belt. It was, in fact, from the Return to the Cairn. He liked the bit where Johnny realised that he'd got a flame tongue greatsword and that didn't have a plus. You just like, fuck it. I remember from that conversation. So, that made me laugh. Stuart liked the concept of Sessions having to wear special body armour like the press have in those war zones, only with cleric written on it. So, apparently that came up at one point. Everybody loves the bits with Johnny. I say everybody. 3 other people that contacted us loved that Johnny gets rid of the bad dice rolls.
Yeah.
It's a very popular...
It's a good tip, though, for those readers out there.
You keep going with that, Johnny. Yep.
I think they wouldn't have occurred to them.
Tried and tested over 44
so
years.
Double blind.
44 years.
Well, the results have been absolutely spectacular as well. I think we can all agree.
Anyway.
Lee liked
double blind study into whether it works getting out the bad dice rolls.
Well, he went blind.
Does.
He tried that with the prismatic spray.
Yeah, well, very well.
Get him. Yeah. It got him blind.
Right, yeah.
And on the
I should have rolled the bad dice roll just another couple of times.
Yes, and then sent to another dimension. Lee liked us going back to the cairn. He liked the stuff with the spider. Do you remember all of that? He liked all the stuff with the shadow world, which might be relevant again.
Yes.
Loves Uncle Buggy. Thought Uncle Buggy did very well in that episode. Another person put Hood, whoever Hood is, just put zombie in a bag. This year's must-have accessory. Which I quite like.
Not any old zombie. Grimbold.
One of the prizes on the
an old
century.
My favourite bits have been the return of, as a DM, the return of Grimbold in that final showdown. And I have to admit, I derived some satisfaction from the cursed figurine of wondrous power.
That I did not enjoy.
You just love to argue over your magic.
Well, it's interesting though, isn't it? Because we argue and fight over magic, but we very rarely have cursed items.
Yeah, but you were given effectively a whole room full of cursed items. And you identified pretty correctly that most of them had something very dodgy about them, and you got rid of them, but you were very pleased that you'd got hold of the figurine. And I remember sitting there thinking that is going to come back and bite them on the arse at the worst possible moment. And it did. We have another reader who really likes the fact that this is an old practice, Shane, calling questionable PCs scaly. Any PC where people think that things is a bit funny about them, he likes that. He likes that as an innovation.
Is that from a film originally?
I don't think it is. I think it just came in many years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it was They Live or something. I can't remember.
Lizard Men. Yeah.
It was something.
It's been like 100 years.
Yes. That's
Nico derived, isn't it?
Could be.
Very
could be Nico. Yes, that sounds very Nico.
I can hear in my mind or visualize Nico just leveling an accusatory finger across the table and going, scaly! Pointing at somebody. So I suspect that's where it's come from.
So for the reader's benefit, Nico is one of the billing Hilltop.
He's
found
one
years
of
ago.
Numbers.
One of the founders.
Yes.
Join the
along
podcast.
with Joss, but they don't participate in this.
Which is a great
far too important
cavalcade. Anyway, there we are. I think I've kind of covered most of our readers' contributions. Anybody got anything else that they look back on with affection? No.
Well, I quite liked the alternate sessions and also sitting around doing nothing for what felt like ever.
Yeah, that's pretty boring when those things. Well, it's part and parcel of the way it works.
But the alternate sessions didn't really do anything. I was
very excited that he was going to do something.
Yeah, but it freaked you all out.
It did,
which was the point of it.
It did. Well, that shadow roll was really odd.
Yeah.
Fog lamp sessions. Yeah. That shadowy bit was fun, and the spider was
like
fun.
May or something.
Arguments about magic, arguments about metagaming. Nobody's highlighted those as high points of the year.
You should ask for low points.
Anyway, let's
see if they turn.
I think we should play some D&D, should we not?
Why not?
Or rather, we aren't actually going to play some D&D, but we are. But we're going to play some D&D that you're not about to hear. We're going to play some D&D that you're going to hear in the future. It's all rather confusing. But anyway, Merry Christmas, readers. And thank you for your continued endurement of our shambolic
Do you know how Mary and Joseph get their groceries delivered? On a little donkey.
Dear sir, again.
My favourite bit is the bit where Dan started telling really bad Christmas jokes.
And didn't stop.
Yeah. Let's push on. As always, we would love it if you were to rate or review us on your podcast app of choice. It helps us. Maybe we could double our readership next year to 25 people.
Does that mean that we have half a reader?
I suspect we do. You can find us on social media. You can find us on Twitter at Billowing Hilltop. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Mastodon. Is that a thing? At Billowing Hilltop. You can find us on Tumblr, where you can see our maps and illustrations and character art and so forth. Some new maps and bits and bobs are going to be going on there soon. Otherwise, I have no news or information, so let's push on with episode 120, a mercifully short episode 121 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, Violent Night. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Sorry, I'm the only one that ever bothers to respond when you say something.
Well, no, I know, but I can cut and paste other people.
Dumbly.
I cut and paste. I've got enthusiastic hellos from all of you, which I drop in the edit.
Hello.
So that's why it always sounds like you're already keen to play. Well, you know, really, that you've been dragged here.
Yeah.
Kicking and screaming.
Where are my notes? I can't find my notes.
So we've been waiting for Lucas, and we've been waiting for me, and all this time you haven't got your notes sorted.
No, I got my notes. Oh, you're going to wish I hadn't got my notes, because I've got, I have been...
a nasty monster.
Good evening, readers. Good morning, readers, or wherever you may be. In the car, I think we determined they're in the car. Open your eyes. I'm here with everybody, including returned from his leg extension surgery in the United States, Lucas. Unsuccessful leg extension surgery. I think we can all say that's a little bit... Was that a metric imperial mix-up? Why are you massively out of proportion? Anyway, whatever. Also, I have the golden form of glowing Dan, shadowy Graham, corpulent, moist Johnny, and in his beaker,
I'm not fat,
Paul.
Lucy has put the electrodes in. Yes.
Okay, well, that's
dear.
What you do at the weekend is none of our business. I think it's Christmas this week. I mean, in pod land, whatever.
So we've been told.
Podland. So happy. Hello, readers. Merry Christmas. We hope you have a nice Christmas.
That sounded so genuine.
Yeah.
Hello, readers. Merry Christmas.
It's difficult. It's difficult to properly summon the Christmas spirit.
It's a bit like Jules Holland's from Hootenanny, recorded in June. That genuine.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant as in shit. But yeah,
I can't stand it. Just can't stand it.
It must happen. Sorry, this is a bit of a weird non sequitur, but it must happen that you record a show for Christmas and then you've got to hang on to it, for ages, and you might lose it before you actually get to broadcast it. That must.
Are you talking about podcasts or like TV shows?
No, TV, like Hootenanny. Imagine if they recorded Hootenanny and then it got to Christmas. It's like, where did you leave it? I was like, I don't know.
Where did you put the
Hootenanny tape? Oh shit! What are we going to do?
It is my pet. My pet hate.
Great Escape.
Left it on a train.
Christmas versions of things recorded outside Christmas, where it's really obvious that they've just sprayed fake snow over,
like the Tesco ad. I
trees.
think that one at the moment looks really dodgy.
What's that one?
Well, I don't know. Is it Tesco? It's like with the.
Oh well, yeah. There's a great big tree. No, Marks and Spencer's has got a great big tree in like full leaf in the middle of the square where they're all having their Christmas moment.
Yes.
This is just obviously due. And Bake Off do it when the people put coats on and scarves, even though it's the summer. Anyway, it is Christmas. Readers, it's Christmas this week. We think when you listen to this. So we hope you have a nice one. Should we have a recap? Can anybody remember where we were?
We're in the lobby in the silent spell with a gelatinous cube and a thing on one side, beetle on one side.
That's right.
And the six-armed nasty prismatic spray monster on the other.
Greebly is the word that Paul's been using. I like the word greebly. Also, you lost Buggy. Johnny and I will be popping into the broom cupboard periodically to catch up on Uncle Buggy's I was going to say death saves. That's giving stuff away. But anyway, we'll be popping in to catch up on Uncle Buggy's fortunes. It's a better word. But not now. Let's keep the clock running.
Last week we smashed the crystal and it seemed to destroy the crystal scythe it was using to protect itself.
Close. Yes, close enough. It has a weird sort of sickly thing and it had a green crystalline rod that shattered.
That was probably the treasure.
As the wave of energy released by smashing your crystal on the ground was about to engulf it. The rod
he wasn't very
shattered.
happy about it.
Wasn't very happy about it, but clearly the sacrifice of that rod protected it against the wave of anti-undead, whatever it is, kryptonite energy.
Yeah, but to be fair, it didn't look like
Let's call it necronite.
Didn't look like a very happy creature to begin with.
It's not exactly been Charlie Chuckles since you first met it.
No.
Where we left things, yes, Sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Your dispel magic roll. That is where we left things. I interrupted. A re-roll, of course, because the first attempt failed, but this time using Burple's Ort dice.
Oh, God.
Ugh, very selfless gesture. Not tonight's Ort dice, of course. That would be cruel. Last week's Ort dice. Yeah.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
It's going to go perfectly well.
Okay.
But but we think you need a number.
Quite a big number.
Quite a big number. It's a caster level check. You don't know what the target number is, but, the bigger the better. Off we go.
I just, I've been rolling like shit.
I mean,
if
you're feeling like, you don't like that, you could always let Dan roll. It is his Ort dice, but it's your wisdom bonus.
Just
well,
put it on me
I'm
again.
just giving you
I'm
the
going to give it a go. I'm going to roll. We're going to do it.
Here we go.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Got to believe.
You're roll against the teacup.
You're going to get. You're going to.
Yeah, sure. We'll be
You're
rolling
against the
16.
teacups. Oh, it's a
16.
16 is
Plus a D8.
Yeah.
I reckon we're going to do it.
I just quit at 16, didn't it?
Roll a D8
Before you roll.
17 or 18.
Oh, God. Here we go.
We're going to do it.
It's enough.
21.
It's enough.
Right.
Parker visibly relaxes.
Lovely. I'll just keep moving a little bit further away.
Sessions keeps moving.
I can't.
It's the creature.
Be careful, Sessions.
Is that it for Sessions? Is that as far as you're moving, Sessions? For certain? Okay.
Be careful, Graham.
I'm not trying to go too far. I'm flying.
But you're not in the silence anymore, and you've got one coming up behind you.
Really?
There's a gelatinous cube, and with a beetle behind it coming up.
It doesn't
from that
move
side.
that fast, does it?
The sound does. The sound of the chittering of the beetle.
Oh,
does.
fuck it! I'll move next.
The idea of
Well,
Burple from within the silent spell, frantically gesticulating,
beckoning,
trying to grab hold of the sweepstake and pull Sessions back in. Okay, I think that was a very wise... Well, I don't know. I think it's 50-50, actually. Let's be honest. It's 50-50. Right. It's
Well, either way,
the nasties
can't get
of
away,
Chaos.
can you? Absolutely pinned down by horrible
First
things.
of all, there is a slurping in the darkness to your
it's probably a good place.
west. And almost immediately... Oh, no. Well, you don't hear the slurping either, do you? But Sessions Burple...
No.
In fact, I've just told you loads of stuff that you didn't need to know. 30, 40, 50, 60... Oh, I think Burple, just your dark vision, will show you the gelatinous cube that you knew about seems to have started to wobbling north and comes into your view through the second aperture.
Right.
You can speculate. About what that might be. Beetles and the like. Now,
It's quite terrifying, this.
the thing has got to make a decision.
Chooses to do prismatic spray again.
No prismatic spray.
Good. No, it's much better.
Yeah,
It's used.
It's
Now it's onto its 9th episode.
It's softened us up.
it works its way through.
It doesn't need that.
It's working its way up from 7th level. It's got a decision to make. What is it going to do?
Gonna run away, mate.
Do you know what?
Must
This
be
is the
terrible.
question, actually. It disappears. You see it. Yeah, Session sees it. Purple. I think we established that probably Purple doesn't see it. Parker sees it. Seems to contemplate for a moment, and it winks out of existence. Purple on 9.
I don't want to meet it again. It's going to another prismatic bloody spray, isn't it?
It's your round.
What are we thinking, guys?
I think we go for the gelatinous cube.
Yeah, but we've got kind of silence and crap going on over.
Well, we can wait for it to come to us.
Yeah.
And just because it's winked out doesn't mean it's going to get another prismatic spray. If it's...
Well, next time it turns up, it will.
Yeah, next time it will.
Well,
Unless we
why
kill it
would
this
it?
time? And it's got
It was quite
legendary
effective.
bloody actions.
Well, it's using up resources. Does it doesn't necessarily mean it's got two
if
of them.
we rest up, it rests up.
Yeah, so exactly.
No,
so if we continue, if we continue,
We're
it's not going to rest
down.
up.
This is the problem.
Johnny, should we jump into the broom cupboard while the guys chat about what to do next?
No, I might need to nudge him.
He'll bound to be asleep.
Yes,
He's
no.
asleep even when he's playing.
Yep, sure.
Okay, see you in
cupboard.
Yep, sure, broom cupboard. Okay, well...
I think the thing is that if we rest up, it rests up. So we don't rest up. We need to get the other crystal.
How resource depleted are we?
I'm not.
Given
obviously.
I've got some spells. I'm not completely out, but I've got fifth and a fourth, which is basically Dimension Door, Warforce.
Do we have another silent spell?
Silence is quite low level. Yes, I can cast one more silence. I'm actually running out of spells.
I'm not great for spells. I've also got, so that's the fifth and the fourth are our kind of get out of jail spells. I've got a third, 2 seconds, and 4 first. Well, I could do a fairy fire.
If we combine, if we do a silent, if we could go to it or let it come to us, so long as we're in a silent spell.
If it comes to us.
Well, I think it will.
I'm wondering about doing see invisibility. You see, to see if I can see
Johnny.
Buggy if he is on the ethereal plane.
What good will that do if he is? You can see him, and then what?
Well, we can probably communicate with him.
Can he see you?
On the ethereal plane, you can see onto the prime material plane, can't you?
But can you communicate between the planes?
Visibly. Yeah, if I can see him and he can see me.
Then you can do hand signals.
Yeah.
What can he though do?
I don't know how he gets back.
Well, I was thinking about that. I mean, our transporty type spells might be able to help.
How tough are gelatinous
I'm
cubes?
reaching. Shall I do very far on the gelatinous cube?
How nasty is it? Is it really difficult? In terms of hit points, is it really?
They envelop you. They envelop you. And
assuming that
you.
They're slow moving.
Paralyze you, I think.
It's the chittering that we need to.
So silent spell.
Beetle as well.
But the gelatinous cube.
I think the gelatinous cube is more of a
physical threat.
Yeah.
But it's if you've got a silent spell to negate the beetle, gelatinous cube moves slowly, so you can always just avoid it.
But you're assuming this thing is permanently gone. It may be, but it may come back any time.
It may come back any time. But if we get out of here, we're going to have to come back down here anyway. I mean, we can have more spells, and
Potentially, you have an opportunity now, which is if Johnny's ethereal, I think it would help to know.
Yeah.
I have no pressing need to do anything else.
What I'm saying is that if we can get hold of this crystal.
Yeah, I mean, if we can establish that might be helpful. I don't quite know.
If we get the crystal, then by all accounts, the smashing of the crystal kills undead things, and the protection that it's had has now gone, apparently. So I would say the focus is on getting the gelatinous cube dead and getting the crystal out of the gelatinous cube.
But there's not much that I can do on the gelatinous cube.
Well, I can attack it
without going hand to hand with it.
Okay,
you can attack it. Paul can attack it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
I can fairy fire on it now.
That would be the most important thing.
Detect invisibility. Why?
The fairy fire to improve our ability to hit it.
Yeah, it doesn't do more damage though.
No, but it does, by the very nature of being able to hit it more easily, improves the amount of damage on it.
It's a concentration spell.
If you're doing nothing else, so what? You just stay out of the way. All you've got to do is move faster than it moves.
Well, I've got haste, you see.
It doesn't move very fast.
But it gives me an extra attack.
But if you're not,
I can move faster.
Can you get in, attack, and get out again?
Yeah, I've got mobility.
So you can do the kind of the equivalent spring attack.
Yeah.
Okay. And all we need to do is do it in an environment which has got a silence spell.
That's true.
And then the only question we've got to have is: do we go to it or do we let it come to us?
Depends if Graham wants to burn that spell.
Yeah.
It may not come to us.
It may not. I would put money on it coming to us.
It will at some stage, but not necessarily when we want it to.
But it's moving, so it might just going to make it move to the north part of that room, or is it going to make it take a right turn and head towards us? And in any case, if it's moving what looks like 15, 20 foot around, it's going to take a few rounds to get to us anyway.
Yeah.
By which point we can...
So you mean we should attack it?
I'm saying our objective is the crystal inside it, so that when this horrible thing, six-armed thing comes back, we've got something to attack it with.
I don't disagree with you.
No, that's a good start.
But the only thing that I can do really at the moment is Fairy Fire.
Well, that is a really useful thing. How many hit points does a gelatinous cube have?
It does have quite a few.
I don't know, quite a few.
I mean, it depends. It could be a normal one. It could be a kind of souped-up gelatinous cube.
But Mike, we know that with this level that everything's got quite a lot of hit points. So it's about if you can get in there. If you can do the spring attack type thing, and it must be easy to hit. It must have a really bad.
I think you might find when you whack it, there's a good chance that weapons get stuck to it, or you can't use only piercing weapons or something.
So range is the thing.
All right, but then it's me and Parker who attack. All you've got to do, Dan, is do a fairy fire.
Hello, we're back. Hello. What have you been thinking about?
Okay, so Burple is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 back into the room, into the corner outside of the silence. He's going to cast. Let me just check the range.
Doesn't sound good.
He's going to cast Fairy Fire, and then he's going to move back to where he was and release it on the gelatinous cube. Dexterity save DC 15 for the cube.
Well, the cube's not going to make the save, is it? I don't think it has a dexterity save.
You always save against my spells.
Yeah, he's going to have the blue dice of power.
Saving with the blue dice of power. What's the DC?
15.
Okay. Saving at -4, therefore needing a 19. On a dice of power, getting a 10.
Good for that.
And failing.
I had in my head I had envisaged
fire of fairy.
I had in my head a gelatinous cube that suddenly did a pirouette and moved like Sonic the Hedgehog.
It chooses to make that save. Okay, so it is bathed in the fire of fairy. Bathed in the fire of fairy.
That's Purple's round.
Okay, well done, Purple. The fairy light, the fairy fire, catches in the jagged crystalline core of the gelatinous cube. There we are, a bit of description for you there. Uncle Buggy and I have been chatting about Buggy's future or lack thereof on 20. Alessandra.
So Mike,
yes.
If I were to... It's a 10-foot cube, the fairy fire.
Right.
So if I were to highlight, say, those 4 squares...
Right.
If the beetle's in it, is what I'm saying, I just want to specify that I would also get target potentially that square.
So is it 10 foot by 10 foot?
It's 10 foot by 10 foot, yeah.
Right, so are you covering the cube, which was a 10 foot by 10 foot cube?
It's 20 foot by 20 foot.
I'm sorry. So you're setting it to be larger so that it's 5 foot all around the cube, just so that I know that if the beetle was in that 5 feet that you can't see, it is effective.
Well, it's actually 20 foot cube, so it's potentially bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing, it's a 60 foot range, to be fair, is the middle of the cube.
Yeah, fine. I got it. You're filling the chamber that the cube is in with fairy fire, is your point. If the beetle happens to be in the chamber kind of near enough. I'm
expecting the beetle will be behind it somewhere, and I'm trying to affect the beetle as well.
Yeah, okay. It's not, but that doesn't matter. Let's move on to Alessandra on 20.
Alessandra is going to go up and shoot at the gelatinous cube, and because it's fairy fire, she's got an advantage, and because it's advantage, she's got a sneak attack.
Yeah, understood. I mean, it's not the most challenging of targets.
So she gets armor class 20 on.
Yeah, I mean,
both
it's armor class. It's armor class 6. So, yes. How much damage?
She does 47 points of damage.
Okay. Well, your arrow. Let me just check on the whole piercing damage resistance. It
passes straight through.
Well, your damage, your arrow sort of goes into it and stops, and it shudders, losing some of its integrity.
Oh, lovely, like that.
Yeah, I'm glad you do.
Right, well, that's my round.
On 16, it's Parker.
Parker is unrestrained, but he failed a save.
Parker unchained.
I'm just going to use my dash action as well.
Oh,
sorry.
Okay. Last little bit of,
Yeah, sorry. Just didn't want to group everybody together. Move north just so we're not grouped together for hopefully an area of effect.
I see. Okay. Yep. Last little bit of extra. Yep. Little bit of afters. Right,
Parker.
Bit of afters.
Parker takes his clothes off, does a running jump into the steel work.
Something he's been meaning to do for quite some time.
Why doesn't he do it? He can heal himself.
Yeah. What about Sessions? Is he going to do any healing?
Well, it's not Sessions' round. Sessions' round next. I'll do the healing.
Yeah. Now you roll
11.
an 8. Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Sessions on 11, but Sessions, before you act, a voice speaks within your mind. You hear a voice say, whispery bad guy voice, I can't do it. It's in my throat. No, that's not right.
Halfling, has a piece of the sun yet been stolen?
That's what you hear. And it's your turn, Sessions.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have nightmares.
What do you think that means?
Sorry, readers. You've all lost track. We're looking at the lobby. Sessions and Burple are standing in the western entrance to the lobby, but inside the silent spell. Alessandra is in the northern section of the lobby, inside the silent spell. Uncle Buggy, we've no idea. Parker has tucked himself in the bottom right-hand corner.
I'm going to swoop down on the sweepstake into the non-silenced pocket that Burple used earlier. It's about 20 feet away. I'm going to cast Toll the Dead.
Basically, readers, the silent spell is circular, the room is oblong. Therefore, there are corners.
Oblong, yeah.
Ready to throw it at the first bad guy that comes within 60 feet of me, and I'm going to move myself back to where I was before.
Got it.
Yeah, at the edge of the silence. With my ready
yes, I understand too. Right.
Toll the Dead spell.
Yes.
60 foot is my range, so I guess.
On 9. First things first. Jelly cube. Does it leave the fairy fire behind it? Is it on it, or is it? How does that work?
It's on it.
Somebody
on
who's
it.
hit by a fairy fire when they run around, they're still fairy fired. It's not going to.
It's on it.
Fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
well,
it's target on that creature.
It wobbles its glowy way towards you. It can get into the aperture, thereby plugging the aperture. You don't know how effectively. You think that might have actually been a good thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Told you.
Sessions, Burple. Can you both give me
Dexterity saving throws.
perception checks?
Perception check.
Perception only. I get.
nice.
Oh, look,
Oh,
2
nice.
24s.
Fine. You don't hear anything, obviously, but you do notice, assuming that your attention is sort of mostly on the G cube, but you're sort of scanning around. The doors to the mystery room swing gently open. The double doors. You can see
3 of these 6-armed creatures.
You can see into the chamber because the chamber is lit by a soft and you think positive, healthy, friendly blue radiance. Standing in the doorway as these doors swing open is the 6-armed horrible creature.
No, fucking.
And in all of your minds, a voice says, "Oh fuck! I knew this wouldn't go well." No. I think this whispery bad guy voice number 3. I can't do it.
I have a question.
Does it look happier than it did when we saw it a minute ago?
Give me a perception.
That's a good question.
Check, Graham.
24.
Okay, wow. Okay. It looks the same as when you saw it before. It's carrying a crystalline green rod again.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Past it, when you look into this chamber, you can see the fountain.
Is that the thing that makes us thirsty?
Well, you've heard the fountain. Alessandra has pressed her expert... I was going to go rude. Not going to go rude. Alessandra has listened at that door and heard the sound of running water. This is obviously the source of that sound. The other thing is that you can see beyond our friend Makar, you think it's called, this 6-armed greebly. Beyond our friend here, you can see the clearly wiped out smear of what was once Hingehead. It looks like it's been squabbled, probably by the same burst of green energy as seems to have executed the worms in the lake and destroyed the other sword of Kios that you were fighting in the lobby. Basically, that green burst of necronite energy has done for everything apart from this 6-armed greebly.
And the gelatinous cube.
And the gelatinous cube, because the gelatinous cube is,
And the beetle behind the gelatinous cube.
well, you don't know about the beetle behind the gelatinous cube. There was a beetle behind the gelatinous.
There was one, and we haven't killed it, so we know it's still somewhere.
Yes, unless it's undead. or unless it was out of the range of the full force of the anti-necrotic wave. It speaks to you, and its question, as soon as I find my notes, the question is, which I know by heart because I'm so well prepared, is,
has a fragment of the 7 been discovered? And what of the withered hand?
That question rings in all of your minds. It doesn't speak. It's communicating with you.
The severed hand.
Telepathically.
Come again?
Oh, really? Great. I don't know if I can do that, actually, Lucas.
Just say it normally. I didn't.
That was me saying it normally.
Has a fragment of the 7 been discovered? And what of the withered hand?
It's got to be the hand of Vecna, isn't it?
Yeah, do we still have a segment?
Well,
or did we gave it away?
Hasty Testapod.
He's so mighty.
Marcus Doombringer has it.
I have to scrub Lucas saying, "Will this wind be so mighty?" from underneath other people talking about twice an episode. That, this time though.
Long
It
shall it
stays in. It asked, I think, Sessions and, if my recollection is correct, Parker. It sent questions into your individual minds. One of which was around whether or not an orphan sits on the green chair. And the other one was, has a piece of the sun been stolen?
Oh, that's one we don't know about, isn't it?
Right, it's asked you 4 questions. Those are the 4 questions it's
We
asked
know
you.
about the prophecy of the orphan on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the 7. We didn't know about the hand of Vecna. What's Vecna called in your thing, Mike?
Well, I don't think we've got into that. I think something that you've not...
Asmodee?
Asmodee's ancient name was Veshna.
Yeah, there we go. So we didn't know about the sun, piece of the sun being taken. So that is possibly an eclipse.
Well, we aren't gonna do a big thing, but we have discussed it. But let's not worry about it now.
Have we?
Yeah, it doesn't worry about it.
No.
What are you gonna do?
Once again. Well,
it stands there regarding you.
Whose round is it?
That was it. It is Burple on 9.
So Burple is going to move out of the silent spell.
Yeah, towards the gelatinous cube.
Towards the gelatinous cube. He's going to do see invisibility.
Yes.
And what does he see? So you can see onto the ethereal plane.
Okay, I'm just doing a bit of... you can see onto the ethereal plane. You can't see Buggy, if that's what you were hoping for.
That's what I was hoping for.
Let me just check see invisibility.
And then I will move around to...
Let me just check see invisibility. Oh. I'm just going to make sure... Yep, fine. No, you can't see Uncle Buggy. Just wanted to make sure that was it for see invisibility.
Okay. And he will move around into that corner, around into the lobby.
So you're running around into the corner of the lobby?
Yeah, outside the silence.
Yes, it's in the little... You're tucking yourself into the little corner that's formed. Yeah, got it. Little slice. Yeah. Johnny, would you like to join me in the broom cupboard?
Could I just ask a question that Dan forgot to ask?
Mm-hmm.
When he was on the far side of the silence, does he still hear the muffled sound of the...
Chittering?
Chittering?
No.
I thought you just didn't hear it at all.
I thought you
What we've established is that the deadening effect of the G cubes blocking the apertures means that you can hear that the chittering is there, but not in sufficient strength for it to affect you. And bear in mind, you've also got your ears plugged. Anyway, I've got to go and join Johnny.
So if we can disarm it of its staff and then bust the crystal,
right?
That might work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go and get the crystal. That's my...
Yes, we've got to kill the G cube.
Yeah.
Do we need the silence spell, do you think?
Don't know what's happening with the...
I don't think it should stop you doing something else. If you want another concentration or, as we've discovered, a delayed action spell. But I wouldn't probably take it down unnecessarily.
Okay.
I mean, you can step out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Running a bit low on spells. High level spells, anyway. Got 1/5, 1/4, 1/3, 1 second. 4 first. Except I can't because I've done a fairy fire, so I've used it first.
Fairy fire is first. That's, for me, your most useful spell.
Yeah. I was hoping we might see Johnny, but maybe it's any plane. Maybe it's not ethereal. Maybe it's...
Could be astral.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking a long time. Oh, hello.
Okay. Right. Next, it is Alessandra on 20.
Alessandra's going to move outside of the lobby through into the long sleep room, so exiting the silent spell.
So heading
just a little bit
west.
Up north, heading west.
Yeah.
So she's effectively facing the gelatinous cube.
Yeah.
And
so you're staying out of, apart from when you have to jump through the aperture, duck through the aperture, you're staying out of the line of sight of the greebly. Yeah. Got it.
And then because the gelatinous cube's got very far on it, she's attacking at advantage.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me a perception check?
Getting a natural 20 for a 30.
There's something on the other side of the gelatinous cube. It's not a beetle. It's difficult to work out what it is. It's like a shadow of form. You saw something kind of quite slight, something quite thin.
Thin?
Well, I mean, like, the beetles are these things like little kind of the cars.
Yeah.
They're 10 foot across. They're the size of vehicles. This is maybe not a humanoid, but it wasn't a great big hulking beetle. It was something else, moving quickly behind the gelatinous cube as you were moving around and drawing a bead upon it. Don't know what it was, but there was something there.
Don't know what it was. Wonderful.
Anyway, have you shot? You did a bit of damage on the gelatinous cube. 46 points of damage I've got written down.
Right.
Oh, natural 20.
I got a natural 20.
Well,
that.
Do you want to roll for a critical? You might as well. It's free.
It's free. Hitting armor class loads.
That's going to be enough. Okay, here we go. Going to deal you a card. Turn your card over. What is it?
Card. Any card.
Says
Ace of Diamonds.
Thigh.
Pierced.
Double damage.
Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to use the standard convention, which is double is triple. So roll your damage, triple it, add the modifier. That is your damage, including any whatever. I mean, you're going to destroy the cube.
So okay.
I know how many hit points it's got. I mean, it's conceivable that you won't, but I've got a feeling that you will. Have you got enough dice? Let's get that established. Do we need?
Here we go. There we go. So that's 47 points of damage, which we then...
It's 141 points of damage.
Oh,
it's
my
actually,
God.
Oh, so plus... it's 42 points of damage, tripled, plus 5. So it's 126.
It doesn't matter.
Plus 5.
It doesn't.
129.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nice.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. 131.
Somehow, I mean, this is a very difficult thing to narrate. Somehow your arrow buries itself in this cube and the integrity of the entire structure just goes and bits of stuff rattle around on the ground. Bones, skeletal remains. If there were skeletons that were going to animate from within this thing, they're not anymore, clearly. They're just all scattered and whatever.
Yep.
Shields go boing, and they do that, does that sort of dustbin lid as it settles on the ground, and the crystal falls to the floor. And I'm going to have to make a saving throw for the crystal.
Really?
But I'm not going to make that saving throw now. I think that the best thing to do...
It's just a saving throw.
The best thing to know. I think the best thing to do is
stealing our dice again.
But no.
I'm afraid you can't. Well,
so can we use an Ort dice?
I don't know that you can. Well, let's discuss this when we pick things up next. Should have thought of it. Should have thought of it. Merry Christmas, readers.
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Spire of Long Shadows and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Spire of Long Shadows was written by Jesse Decker. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.